All right, hi, and welcome back. Attorney Steve Vondran here. Welcome to another exciting episode of Litigation Whiteboard. Okay, Attorney Steve, we are licensed to practice law in California and Arizona. This is general legal information only and not legal advice, but we are going to hit on the topic today, are memes legal? Okay, so this seems to be a hot topic nowadays. A lot of the things I see on the internet is people saying, oh, yes, of course, obviously memes are legal. Don't be stupid. It's free speech. It's a fair use. Everything. It's legal. Come on. Okay, well, I want to just, and I'm not disputing that, but I do want to give you a case that may make you think a little bit differently, or at least open your mind to the possibility that a meme could get you sued. Okay, not only get you sued, but can you successfully recover? I got a case right here, hot. Well, it's not hot off the press, but it's a case here, the Holland case from the Middle District of Tennessee, United States District Court, where a judgment by the jury was found in favor of the plaintiff for $150,000, plus there was some out-of-court settlement money. So this is an important case to put on your radar for companies. A lot of companies now are doing memes, okay, for marketing and advertising, promotion, those kinds of things. So let's, without further ado, head to the Attorney Steve Litigation Whiteboard. Okay, here we are. We're back. I've put the information up here on the board for you just to try to make this go a little bit easier. I'm going to use the help of my handy pointer today. Just to help out here, pointing out some of these key details, okay? So let's start here. Are memes legal? In fact, let me get on this side so you can see this a little bit better. So this is a case about Adam Holland. He was a 14-year-old kid. He was diagnosed, he had Down syndrome, okay? He was attending an art class at Vanderbilt Kennedy Center. This is in Tennessee, okay? And his parents down here, Pamela and Bernard, okay? Somehow, and I've been reviewing the case on the federal court docket, I cannot find out for the life of me how this photo got on the internet, but he took a photo, actually an instructor took a photo of him. He had created a sign that said, "Go Titans," for the Tennessee Titans. You know, nice, right? Kids here, here's the kid in his art class. He's created a nice photo. It says, "Go Titans." He's holding it up. And the instructor takes a photo of him. And I just don't know how that photo got online, but it did. Like so many things in this world, right? There are so many ways a photo can get online, through Facebook, Instagram, Flickr, whatever. You know, there's just so many ways a photo can get online. So it gets online. We have our three defendants here. Let me switch sides and make it a little bit easier for you here to follow my stuff. But these are my pictures, obviously, for corporations, and here's your individual down here. But there's three defendants in the case. We have Cox Media Group. Now, Cox Media Group owns a ton of stuff, a ton of properties, but owned this radio station, WHTP-FM, The Bone, in Tampa Bay, Florida. And they had basically redone the photo. You know, as you see, people redo photos. That's kind of what a meme is. They had redone the photo and, unshockingly, I should say, called it retarded news. They called it retarded news. Well, you can imagine this, it gets back to the parents and they're like, are you kidding? Like, my kid's here in an art class. He's got Down syndrome and you're using this name. Well, as you're going to see, because I'm going to dig into the case on Pacer and show you the case, you'll actually see the letter. They wrote a letter back to the parents. I'll let you guys make up your own mind what you think. Was it legit, honest, heartfelt? It's up to you. I'm going to read it to you, though. So they got sued. They ended up settling out of court. Okay, so what did they settle for? I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. Could have been $500,000. Could have been $5,000. Who knows? But it was probably something substantial, but I don't know. Okay. The other defendant was Gigahertz Inc., doing business as Sign Generator. So Sign Generator is a site that, I'm not sure if they're up anymore. I assume they are, but I didn't look. You can let me know. But DG, doing business as Sign Generator, they have where you can download signs for a fee, and they had gotten a hold of the photo. they allowed it to be downloaded for a fee under the heading Retarded Handicap Generator. So, some people say, well, hey, you can offend people. You can say hate speech. Hate speech is a made-up term, people will say. You can say whatever you want. It's free speech, free speech. Okay, I'm listening, and I'm agreeing to an extent, okay? But as everybody knows, free speech does have its boundaries. I think most right-minded people know free speech is not absolute. As they say, you cannot yell fire in a crowded theater. Why? Come on, you're going to create chaos here. And finally, an individual was sued. They had posted the photo on Flickr and apparently said, I got a boner. So, so here you have people taking this photo, putting their own little, I would say meme spin. Meme, you got to be careful. Meme and mean, two different things, right? And maybe they're called mean memes. So at any rate, so you have different uses of the photo, different descriptions. And when I talk about memes, it's not only the photo itself that you're sort of transforming, if you will, into something new, maybe making a parody or trying to be funny. It's not only that can get you into trouble. It's also the wordings and descriptions that you use, and because it's all kind of taken in the context. So you have to be mindful of everything that you're doing. At any rate, Pamela and Bernard, they found out about all this, and they said, look, we got to go to federal court. And so we're going to take a look at the complaint. The complaint is right here. I'll give you a quick peek at it. But it's the United States District Court, Middle District of Tennessee. They brought suit for wrongful, false light, invasion of privacy, misappropriation of likeness. That's like a right of publicity type of claim. Defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and Tennessee Personal Rights Protection Act. So there was a state statute that addressed it. And we're going to go over that here in a second when I show you this on Pacer. But it's a, as you can see here, a verified complaint. And let's go ahead and take a look at the case now. Okay, so here's a copy of the complaint. As you can see, it's the United States District Court, Middle District of Tennessee. And you have the jury demand. Here you have your plaintiffs. Here you have your defendants. We just talked about them a little bit on the whiteboard. So here were some of the causes of action: false light, invasion of privacy, misappropriation of likeness. That's similar to a right of publicity type of case. Defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and the Tennessee Personal Rights Protection Act. That's a state law. I'm not a Tennessee lawyer. I don't know much about it, but I'll show you what's here in the complaint. And they were seeking injunctive relief, and we'll go over that in a second. Okay, it's a verified complaint. So let's go down here. I'm not going to read all this to you because I kind of went over it on the board. But if you want to pause and read some of this, go for it. False and defamatory descriptions, a commentary about the plaintiff displaying his image under such headings and descriptions. So again, these are meme headings and descriptions. So not just the meme itself, but headings and descriptions. So this is all part of the deal when you're posting memes, is think about all these things. But under headings descriptions such as retarded news, sick retarded kid, retards, mentally dysfunctional, and other offensive and defamatory mischaracterizations, okay? And like I said, there may be a distinction between Down syndrome, and I'm not a medical expert, so I couldn't tell you. But again, you want to be factually correct when you're doing certain things, or you can risk exposing yourself to making false statements. Okay, so here we go. I'm not going to go into the jurisdiction and venue, but you can read it here if you want, who the defendants are. Okay, now here's the picture that he did at the art camp. Okay, this was at a Vanderbilt thing. So you can see that he had created this picture, having fun, exploring his creative talents, and go Titans, he put, go Titans. And Titans, obviously the Tennessee Titans football team. So here he was promoting the team, having a good time. And so then there's some talk about this being broadcast on The Cowhead Show, Cox Media Group's one of their stations, WHTP-FM in Tampa, Florida, and it was apparently located on this page. So it says here on the website, WHTP-FM displayed the same photographic image taken of Adam in July of 2004 at the Kennedy Center. The defendant had cropped and altered this image of Adam, substituting for his original work a depiction containing the words retarded news. So apparently, again, these are memes, and I would call these mean memes. So, again, is it First Amendment free speech? Is it a parody? Is it, a joke? Whatever. These are things to think about, but this jury did not think so. So going down here, let's see what else we have. So Pamela Holland, the mom, received an email from a friend, Dave Davis, attaching a copy of an email that had been posted on the Facebook page for the Spread the Word to End the Word campaign. At any rate, so she ended up getting, you can pause that and read it if you want, but she ended up getting this letter from a representative of Comcast, as you can see here, saying my name is Aaron, my name is Michael Sharkey. I am the program director of WHTP. I received your email from our corporate office, wanted to make you aware of the action steps. So here was their explanation. The segment Retarded News is designed to highlight odd stories that are seemingly always in the news. Stories such as botched bank robberies and failed crimes. These are not stories about disabled individuals. However, in our investigation, we noted the picture that he was using did denote a person with Down syndrome. We have removed the picture from our page. We're removing any reference to handicapped or disabled individuals. I apologize. So that was kind of the official response, and claiming that it was due to the other types of news they report. So I'll let you decide on that. And they did settle out of court. So again, who knows what amount? It could have been nothing. It could have been an apology. It could have been who knows, amount of money. But I'll let you all speculate on that. Okay, so going down, then it talks more about the owner of Gigahertz doing business as the sign generator in Oswego, New York. And he's got a catalog of images commonly depicting individuals and celebrities holding blank signs. His business, Sign Generator, commercially markets. So there's commercial use there. And whenever you have commercial use, you're going to get a little less First Amendment protection. Not that you don't have it, but you could be more construed because it's seeking to profit as opposed to just expression, okay? Just bear that in mind. His business, Sign Generator, commercially markets these images for sale to download both to consumers, both nationally, internationally, via his website, okay? So then here they learned that defendant Gigahertz, doing business, Sign Generator, had posted on its internet website under the heading Retarded Handicap Generator the following cropped and altered version of their son Adam Holland's photograph, holding in place of his original artwork a poster saying, "I love making custom signs." So that's obviously what this company does, is custom signs, and so it's almost using him in a way to promote. If you think about it, obviously that wasn't something he really wrote. They're attributing to him that perhaps he is supportive of the brand and he loves making signs, and who knows if he loves making signs or not. That's something that they're attributing to him. So we go down, and like I said, there's more. There's also an individual that was charged with posting this on his website. And again, I'm going to show it to you just for illustration purposes here. So then the individual posts this on his Flickr account. I guess thinking that was funny, but it goes kind of on from there. There's actually a little more to the story than just that. And so we have other things. Obama is the best president of all time. I have to make a poop. Whatever that means. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, so you have more information about the plaintiff who posted that. Apparently, he maintained a Flickr page entitled Wasted in the Keys. So that's kind of funny, I guess. That's more funny than the photo, that's for sure. But anyway, he's got here, he apparently claims to have received over 21,000 views of this photo over 25-month period, 2 years. He describes the posting as just a stupid photo of a sick, retarded kid that lives down my street that my dogs hate. So, obviously he's joking, but, does the guy really live down the street and do the dogs really hate him? So it was kind of, like I said, very mean-spirited. It goes back to some people will say, well, we're allowed to offend people. It's free speech. But here was kind of his answer here. I really don't know how the hell I can have over 21,350 views in only about 25 months. This is just a stupid photo of the sick, retarded kid that lives down my street that my dogs hate. My girlfriend took this photo of him at school. That wasn't true. Yes, the retard does ride the short bus. I don't think any of this is true, but WTF, maybe I should write or produce a movie. If I did, though, it would be a mix of Animal House and Blue Velvet. But to be sure, I will make sure that it will offend everyone. I will make sure that a lot of people will hate me. Hee. That is my goal, and it will rock. I have many great ideas. My movie will be so vile and racist and offensive that I may have to move to an island in the middle of nowhere just to stay alive. I think it is worth it. So that is Wasted in the Keys, and maybe that's like his goal in life. But there you have it. And so there you have it, cause distress and that. So going into the causes of action, this is what they were suing for. Again, there was a Tennessee Personal Rights Protection Act, and I'm only going to point this out because I found this to be really quite fascinating. I'm not a Tennessee lawyer. I don't pretend to know what Tennessee law is, but I'm going to read what they quoted here, which is, it looks kind of like a right of publicity statute that we have in California, but it says any person who knowingly uses or infringes upon the use of another's individual name, photo, or likeness in any medium, in any manner directed to any person other than such individual as an item of commerce for purposes of advertising products, merchandise, goods, or services, blah, 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 without consent, this could result in a civil action authorized by this section and the remedies set out in this code section. And this is the part that got me. Any person who commits unauthorized use as defined in subsection A commits a Class A misdemeanor. So are you kidding me? Like this kind of, and I'm not criticizing the Tennessee law, but I mean, if you're making memes out there, you better check your state laws because you don't know what is lurking in there. And as I mentioned, some of the, uses here, if they're deemed commercial in nature, it says any person who knowingly uses, I think people were knowingly using or infringing upon the use of another's individual name or likeness in any medium, in any manner, directed to any person. So all I'm saying, folks, is obviously this was not a criminal case. This was a civil action. So I'm definitely not implying anything along those lines. But my point is, you need to think about these memes and what you're putting out there and what you're saying. It's not a free for all. And I think that's what I got out of this case is that memes are not a free-for-all. They're not, hey, whatever you want to do. If you're just intending to have fun, life is all good. You need to think about it. That's the importance of this case. So they were alleging that statute. They were alleging false light invasion of privacy. Now, this is, again, putting somebody in a false light in the public eye. The defendants in each of them are liable plaintiff for compensatory damages in displaying to the world deceptive, degrading, false, indecent, insulting, and defamatory images, casting him in a false light, which is invading his personal privacy. So false light is one of those privacy torts that we've talked about and we have a video on false light if you want to go check it out. And so that, I'm not going to go too much more into that. You can read that if you want. Then they go into the misappropriation of likeness and image. Again, this is a right of publicity type of cause of action, and that's misappropriating somebody's name and image. So again, do as a marketing person or an individual out there posting memes on their Instagram channel, are you thinking about these things before you're using images? I'm pretty sure this is not something that they teach you in high school, not even in college, and you may not even get it in law school unless you take a course in publicity torts or entertainment law, those kinds of things. So again, something to consider. You can pause this video and read this if you want. I'm going to keep going down here. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, this is another interesting cause of action. So this is, I have a video on intentional infliction of emotional distress. This is a really interesting tort. And I usually say it's kind of rare to win on this because it requires, at least in California anyway, extreme and outrageous conduct. And, it's questionable to me, it's questionable whether or not, posting these kinds of things, is it extreme and outrageous? Is it beyond the bounds of decency that a civilized society should be required to tolerate? And again, you have free speech concerns, competing free speech, parodies, transformative uses. You kind of have that stream that's running against it a little bit. But, this is the stuff where you have to be careful because you end up somebody filing a suit. And if a judge says, you know what, because, oftentimes you will find a demur on this cause of action saying it does, this is not extreme and outrageous. And that goes to the judge. The judge gets to make the question. And in most cases, check your jurisdictional rules. But many times a judge gets the power to make that decision. And if a judge thinks, as must have, apparently happened in this case, is, next thing you know, you're going to a jury. Now the jury's going to decide. So, that's what happened in this case. It did actually go to a jury trial. And so you have to be thinking about this. Will this meme cause extreme and severe mental hardship? That's a question. Defamation, again, the statements made by the defendant, which he published, were false and made with the knowledge of the falsity or with reckless disregard for the truth. So even though we had, I guess, the radio station you would consider to be a media defendant, you may have to show reckless disregard of the truth. That's the New York Times standard, New York Times v. Sullivan. So, they allege that. And we're seeking, for the false statements, and again, seeking injunctive relief. So here, as you can see, going down to what they're looking for, they're seeking $3 million against this guy, $3 million here, compensatory impunitives, compensatory impunitives, compensatory impunitives. You add up all these $3 millions, you get $18 million that they were seeking. So again, who knows what the Cox case part of this settled for? Who knows? But they did recover $150,000 in this case, and I'm going to go over that jury instruction to close this video out. But they were seeking an injunction, relief, that kind of thing, and that was the case. Okay, so let's take a look at that jury instruction or the final jury verdict real quick, just to show you what that looked like. All right, let's take a quick look at that jury verdict right here in the PACER system. So let's click on number 82, and let's pull down, see what the jury had to say here, okay? So here we go. Verdict. Claims against the individual plaintiff. Do you find that the plaintiff claim for invasion of privacy by false light has proved his claim and suffered damages? Yes. How much? Compensatory, $5,000 against one defendant. Do you find that the plaintiff's claim by intrusion, the privacy by intrusion claim that plaintiff Adam Holland has proved his claim and suffered damages? Yes. How much? $5,000. So you see the damages are racking up here. Did you find the claims for defamation proven and suffered damages? Yes. Must have been a left-handed foreman of the jury here, it looks like. If you answered yes, what's the minimum amount you award? $5,000. So you can see they're succeeding on these different claims. And some people say, well, memes, you can never, it's all legal. It's all legal. You can never be sued. It's obvious, everyone. But here you go. Here's somebody is, looking to pull out a checkbook unless the case goes up on appeal, which I'm not sure if this did or not, but here you have it. 5,000. So here it is, plaintiff emotional distress winning 5,000. Compensatory damages, 10,000. This is against defendant Gigahertz Inc. It's 10,000, So here, that's, a look at the damages, and they're all racking up here. Intentional infliction, Tennessee statute, compensatory damages. Oh, punitive damages. What are punitive damages? Designed to punish and deter. Here we go, hitting with another 75,000 against two defendants here, okay? So as you can see, the damages can rack up, and yes, all memes are not legal, folks, okay? All right, so I hope you enjoyed that case. Now, here's the deal. So as you can see, now these were some very unique facts, probably not your typical everyday facts, but again, it points out the issue that you need to be thoughtful and mindful about your memes and what you're posting and where you're posting it and what context and the things that you're saying in regards to the photo, okay? So as we point out here on my list, there are, to me, this case points out that there could be as many as 6 ways to get yourself sued. Actually, I should have a 7th here. I'm going to add that real quick, which is just copyright infringement. I mean, it is possible that you are infringing somebody's copyrights and you're not making a transformative fair use. And so copyright, I'm going to put 7 ways up here. 7 ways you could find yourself being sued over your meme. And as I put here, don't be meme. The first thing to be sensible about is realize there are some lines where society may get involved, a jury may get involved, and they may say, you know what, there has to be a line here. I know that's going to break some hearts of some of you First Amendment people, which I am as well, but realize there are lines, okay? But here we go. So this case talked about false light, putting someone in a false light in a public eye. That is a privacy tort. You have invasion of privacy. In this case, intrusion on seclusion and solitude. What? He was at an art class, just having a good time, and look what happens. Defamation, okay? This related to the claim that the individual that posted the photo on Flickr said, oh, that's my retarded neighbor down the street, and in fact, that was not true, okay? Intentional infliction of emotional distress. This, again, it's a rare tort. In most states, I'll just talk about my own state, California and Arizona, requires extreme and outrageous conduct. So that's a very high bar. Believe me, there has to be extreme and outrageous conduct. But as you can see, in this case, posting a meme and just kind of exercising what some would argue is free speech must have been seen as extreme and over the lines. And in fact, that's what they argued, that it was beyond all bounds of decency that a civilized society should be required to endure. So they made that allegation, and remember, on this tort in California, severe mental emotional damages. So you have to be able to make that showing. So this is not an easy tort by any measure. Defamation is not easy. So these can be very difficult torts. And, in these torts, and let me just finish here. Right of publicity, that is using someone's name, image, or likeness for a commercial purpose without authorization. In California, there is a newsworthy defense or public affairs defense, but if it's not covered by that, you could have a real problem. And again, state law. In this case, I'm not a Tennessee lawyer, but there was a Tennessee law, so you need to check your state-specific laws. And in this case, it was even punishing on possibly criminal levels. So can you imagine a meme and you're in jail? So like I said, think about these things. I know people say, well, it can never happen. It can never happen. You don't want to be the poster child of meme law, okay? And then my copyright infringement here, copying it without the rights. So bottom line, I just want to point out to people that when you're in this area of law, the speech is not absolute. Really what you're doing is, can you see down here? Let's see. Let me draw it over here. So in these cases, if you can think about it, it's a balancing, okay? This is what we call the balancing test. And this is, when I'm in law school, this is how I always draw it, because usually there's competing interests that are going on, okay? So in this case, you're going to have these torts like right of publicity, defamation, IIED. You're going to be balancing these torts here. Mostly these are torts that we're talking about. And a tort is a civil wrong one person commits against another. But you have a balancing going on with the First Amendment, okay, with copyright fair use, with transformative copyright, transforming something into something new. The law encourages that. It protects that. But you're going to have this balancing act. I know people just think, well, free speech is absolute. I can do whatever I want. It's funny. It's parody. Okay, parody being over here as well. But the point is, this is going on. Trust me, I have read enough cases. I've been practicing long enough to know these decisions come into play, okay? So that is meme law for you. That's meme law 101. General legal information only, not legal advice. But if you adhere to Attorney Steve's #1 rule, some people say, well, memes have to be mean to be funny. Okay, I get it. But just remember, don't be too meme. Don't be too meme, okay? That might get you in trouble. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like it, give me that thumbs up. Share it. Don't be afraid to share it on your social media networks. And make sure, again, to subscribe to our channel. If you have any comments, questions, you want to tell me something or point out a case that I don't know about or make some nice comments, go ahead and put it in the message box there. We try to comment on as many as we can. So if you have any ideas for new videos, also put those in the box below. But we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Litigation Whiteboard. If you need more information, civil litigation, find us on the web, attorneysteve.com. That's attorneysteve.com, the first name in legal services. Take care now. Have a great weekend. We'll see you again.